Hello, everyone, and welcome to Gemma's Window. It is July 2020, and if you have followed the calculations in the box below and determined you're a power year number one, then you're at the right place. Hey, once, just a reminder, you only have to calculate your power year number once for the year 2020. Every month your number changes, and that's where I come in. You ones are in the month of 8 for the month of July 2020. Now, ones, I always like to look up before we talk again, just to get some key words in there to describe, well, what does it mean to have a power year number one? Well, one thing that you can pretty much figure out on your own is that it's going to be the beginning. It's the beginning of your entire cycle of a 10-year cycle. And sometimes it can be that you've actually started the new endeavor, or sometimes it can be that this is the year where you start to plant the seeds to start something new. And the thing about one, you can find yourself in a year where you're standing apart from others, is that you've got to be the leader, you've got to be the creator, and you've got to be the individual taking a chance and sticking your neck out for someone else. And when you're in this year of one, it's not likely that you're going to accept defeat, very likely. Not likely at all. You're going to be in fighting mode and want to continue defending something or someone or an idea or yourself, and trying to prove to the world what you're talking about and that you know it's right or going to work. Now, in this month of 8 ones, it's a month that can be very financially rewarding. It's a very karmic month, and sometimes 8s will have a reversal of fortune where it's like they'll take 2 steps backwards, but then they'll come back again. So it all depends on what your karmic debt is. If something could go well, very, very well for you this month, or maybe something that doesn't go so well when it comes to finance, but also comes to power, because 8 is about taking your power back and not being a victim anymore. With that said, we're going to discuss of course, these meanings as we go. Let's start ones by looking at those of you who have a job. Let's go in our usual format. We start with business, then we go to relationship, and then we go to any question you might have. So let's shuffle these cards and let's see what's cooking. Let's see what's cooking for our ones. For those of you who are working, maybe we'll get information about how you're being perceived, or what's going on during this quarantine time. Okay, so she just fell there by accident, so I'm going to keep her, and I'm going to add okay, ones. What we have here is, I think you were raring to go at some point. It could have been before this quarantine. It could be during this quarantine where you're just like, well, look, just let me. Can't I just jump on this bandwagon? Come on, let me just take this. Let me just do this. And this is in the workplace. But the card that I have for you right now is that everything is as it should be, ones, and you have to take a little bit of a step back and just be calm and kind and cool and collected. Because coming up very shortly, you are going to be able to ask. You're going to be able to get the people around you, co-workers, and or the person you work for, or the person you work for and the person they work for. The timing is coming for you to get your point across of what you want. This is a reading for this month, and you are in the month of 8, which is potentially a very big month of success at the workplace, where you get that raise, or you ask for the raise, or you get that promotion, you ask for the promotion. The key factor here being is that you're not sitting back and waiting and being a victim, or then you're going to, be passive aggressive at the end and say, well, I thought we weren't supposed to say anything. I thought we weren't supposed to ask. But it looks to me here that the advice is that if you feel like it's right and you have been patient, then you are probably going to have an opportunity this month to ask for what you want and get it, or the beginning of next month. You're in a really good position here for impressing layers upon layers of people in the workplace to convince them to give you what you want. Another thing I'll throw out there for you ones is that you're coming from a place of the Fool card, and the Fool, of course, is not a fool. It's the first card in the tarot deck, and it means starting out on an adventure and wanting to take a risk, perhaps, or sticking your neck out. And that may be where you found yourself right before this whole quarantine hit. Whether you're working from home or you're someone who's still going to work, or during the quarantine, you may have come up with some ideas like, hey, this is working for me, whatever's going on, and I can expand upon this. But when do I bring it up? When do I bring it up? When do I bring it up? Well, according to these cards, you will bring it up in this month of July, and possibly or the beginning and into the beginning of August. Okay, ones, that's what we have for those of you who are working. Now we're going to shuffle these cards again, this deck, and we're going to say, okay, what about our ones who are looking for work? Looking for work, or maybe looking for a change of work. And all of these words that I'm saying for you ones, every word that I say is for you. I try to divide the reading up to make it more specific, but say, for example, you had a really good connection for a job, and then you just had to kind of go dormant because of the virus and this and that and the other thing. Well, I would tweak my words and say, well, it's coming into being where you're going to be able to reconnect again to try to get what you want. So that's already a little bit of an indication for those of you who are looking for a job. But let's be specific, like I say, and let's pull out some cards for our ones who are looking for employment during this time of July 2020. So it looks to me that some of you have been let go or cut back from the workplace, and some of you may be scrambling, trying to do little jobs here and there, trying to make some money, or picking up slack of other people because they have been let go. So what's coming into being for you in this month of July, ones, is the recreation card. So it's like you've kind of spread yourself thin all over the place, trying to come up with the right idea or the right future, declare the right job, the right business or organization you want to be involved in. And it looks to me like you are going to come to that conclusion, or the universe is suggesting that you come to that conclusion instead of being a master of all trades, or jack of all trades, master of none, trying to zero in and focus on what you really want starting in July and moving into, now in August, ones, you're in the month of endings. And then in September, you're in the month of new beginnings. So this reading can stretch out for a couple of months, whereas you may make a complete about face and say, you know what, I I was in the such and such industry, but things have changed so much over these, well, maybe in your own life, or maybe because of this quarantine, that now I actually think I want to do something else. And that's what's being supported for you here, is to change course during this time. And you'll have that month of endings and then that month of new beginnings in September. So you're right on course to make big radical changes once in your life. And that kind of is that number one, year. Now that month of 8 is, we don't want you to be a victim anymore. We want you to feel strong. We want you to get your power back, and you may be rewarded because you've worked honestly in your life. And so very, very good things may come to you. You have a good combination of cards and numbers and the whole thing going on. I do want to now move on to relationships ones. Okay, so we're going to take a look at those of you who are in a relationship, and then those of you who are looking for a relationship. And again, all of these words apply to you ones. So, but I do divide it up. So let's start with our ones who are looking for ones. We're starting with those of you in a relationship. Those of you in a relationship. Okay, now this is interesting because ones, I feel like you may have made a choice. I feel like you may be having some regrets. So you're in this relationship and you suddenly heard from someone from the past, or heard about them, or seen something online, or maybe you were talking to someone and they fell off the face of the earth and now they've come back up again and you're with somebody else. And it looks to me that it grates on you, and it grates on you, and it grates on you. And for those of you who actually take the plunge and say, well, I can talk to this other person at the same time. There's no crime there. Well, according to these cards, I feel like ones, you've got to play this straight in this month, because you could get caught. If you put your big toe out of line in this month of July, ones, you could get caught. So the advice here is to be very honest. If you're going to do something about it, and don't say a word and don't do it if you're not going to, because there is a chance of getting caught. You're going into that month of endings in the month of August, and you may decide to end the relationship because you want to give this other person a chance or try. But it could also mean that the relationship just ends because you get caught doing something or talking to somebody your partner would not appreciate or approve of. So be careful of those lovers triangles ones for this particular month. We don't want you to be a victim. We want you to have your power. That's what the month of 8 is all about. Now, I'm shuffling now for those of you who are looking for love. Okay, and it looks like all the way around for you ones, there's some intriguing things that might be happening to you in this month of July. Because of what I have here, again, I have the Secrets card. I have that it is better for you this month not to tell, Harry about Larry, and don't tell Larry about Harry. It says that things have or may feel like they've been moving very, very slowly. So maybe you're talking to a couple of people, or seeing a couple of people, or interested in a couple of people, or that will come into fruition in July. And it doesn't even have to be that once. That doesn't even have to be the example. The key words here are don't tell everybody everything about you in this month. And maybe it's, well, I haven't had a date in 5 years. Don't tell everybody everything about you this month. By you playing it close to the vest, you have an opportunity for a lot of suitors or success by the end of July. It feels like it's been, going forever, but it's just about not telling the wrong person the wrong information. And since you don't completely know, well, who is that wrong person? Hush it. Hush it for the month of July. Keep it quiet. You're at the end of this perhaps dry spell in your love life. You're going into endings in August, which could be the end of being alone, and new beginnings in July, where you're starting up something new. So you're at a you're in a good run. You're in a good run to get something off the ground and moving. And it looks to me as like you're going to have a selection coming to you. These cards do show up for you in the month of July. And I hope that that's how it happens. But one little change, one little choice that someone changes in their life can have a ripple effect. And so maybe it gets postponed a little bit, but you have selection coming your way in matters of the heart. That's very exciting. Okay, ones, let's take a look at any question you have. So what question do you have, ones? You can ask about love again. You can ask about a job, a relationship of any kind, health. Just tweak my words to make the answer fit your question, but don't change the outcome. You know that. So let's shuffle these cards together and let's see what we have. Okay, ones, for any question that you have. Well, that's very, very nice. Very nice. Okay, ones. We have your action card. Your action card is that you make a very, very good choice, or you make a very, very good connection with someone. Something that has taken time, you have been patient about, you have tried to contact the right people or tried to do the right thing, and even tried to take the right course, even tried to take the right advice or recommendation. You've done your homework and bam, there you are. You have made the right choice. And what I feel, this is a little different than I feel like what I usually see, is I feel like you're not going to know right away that you made the right choice, but you are going to know down the road that you made the right choice. You will be validated that you're right. The company that you think is going to either cut you, lay you off, lay a lot of people off, go out of business, and then you go and you join this other company and you're going, well, they're still there. They're still there. It's down the road a ways that your intuition is validated. It's down the road a ways. It could be within the year, but it could be months away when you're like, oh my gosh, thank God I made that choice. Very interesting, ones. That's what we have for you this month. Hey, ones, if you haven't subscribed already, would you subscribe? And I would love to have you. Anything you'd like to know about me, or if you'd like to set up a reading, I'm on Jemma's window at gmail.com. It's lovely, lovely to read for you. Always so much fun. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, safe and healthy and lovely July. And I'll see you in August. Okay, ones? Thanks again. Bye bye for now.